Hey guys, I'm JF. We're at Windspirit Shop in Quebec, Canada. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about how to set up your duotone sails in order to have a lot of fun with them. What you want to make sure, like you always have on the sail, you have the best mast to use or the alternate mast. The most important to understand is by using the best mast, you really get the maximum performance out of the sail. You're going to lose, if for example for this 3.4 over here, the recommended mast is 340 centimeter. If you're using a 370, basically you're going to lose about 70% of efficiency with the sail. So using the recommended mast will give you a lot more performance, a lot more fun, a lot more range out of the sail. So the first thing, what I recommend to you is to use a loop and go extension. So those Duotone Power XT, like it makes rigging so much easier. I've just rigged the sail here underneath 1 minute, so simple. And honestly, you can also, with the crank over here, you can do some adjustments when you're on the water. You don't need to come back. So just for that, it's really worth it, and I strongly recommend it. The other element over here that is super important is just use the recommended settings on the sail. For example, I adjusted my extension. It says 340 plus 4 centimeter. So just make sure that you're using this as a base, and make sure that the extension is at 4 centimeter extra. Once you rig, what you're going to see is you have those dots over here on top of the sail. So minimum versus maximum. So for example, if you have a lighter wind day, you're going to go with the sail being floppy to the minimum dot over here, versus if you have a stronger wind day, you're going to have some the sail getting softer up to the maximum over here. So basically, the idea with that, those sails are quite powerful, and the new generation of sails, you don't downhole them as much as the older generation. So basically, as you can see here, this 3.4, the leash is not that loose, and it's normal. Those sails, the power is a little bit lower, a little bit more in the center of the sail. We don't want to have the leash opening up too much. So watch out not to put too much downhole for the mothered sails. They still have a lot of range, they still handle super well. If you put too much downhole, they get a little bit twitchy and harder to control. So basically, like, that's what I recommend. As far as the boom setup over here, like printed on the sail, you have some indication for the minimum versus the maximum. It can vary up to 6 centimeters. So have a look at this. If you put the boom at the bottom part over here of the cutout, it's going to be a 140 centimeter boom. But if you put it all the way to the top, it's a 146, so 6 centimeter extra. So make sure, according to how high you put your boom, that you're going to adjust the length of the boom in order to have like a lot of fun with it. There's a VDS system over here. You can see that little white bar over there. So once you have some tension on the sail, it tells you when to stop and make sure that you have proper clew tension. So for example, right here, I would have not enough tension, and as soon as the bar is close with like closing the gap over here, you have the proper amount of tension. So basically, if you look into the sail over here, like you don't want the sail too stiff over here, or it's going to get twitchy. So basically, it's normal that the sail touches the boom up to the harness line. You don't want the sail to touch the boom past the harness line. That would be not enough tension. The other thing we were talking about with Charles earlier on is those battens. they are pre-tensioned from the factory, so you don't want to touch them. Everything is already pre-tensioned, everything has been tested in order to have fun with the sail and to make sure that the settings is optimal. So don't play with them unless you break a batten and you need to reinsert it. Everything is set up so the sail works at 100%. I hope you like this video, and I like to see you on the water very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.